Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. And on today's video I want to talk about a subject that has become the source of so much clickbait nonsense and FUD, and that is the Cybertruck. On today's video I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the Cybertruck is going to become legal across Europe. Cybertruck. We know what it is. It's Elon Musk's square-shaped metal monster truck thing from the future. And they're on sale in the US and Canada. And there's been a few trucks that have been what's called grey imported, unofficially brought across into Europe and Dubai and a few other places. And the European ones have made their way to the UK. We had the case of one of our police forces seizing the vehicle and saying this vehicle is illegal. And a lot of the clickbait basically said, see, that's because the Tesla is unsafe. But that's not what the police said. The police seized it under section 165 of the UK road traffic laws because it wasn't properly insured. There are suggestions that this vehicle is unsafe, that it's illegal, and it will stay unsafe and illegal forever. There are 5 good reasons why the Cybertruck is going to be legal in Europe. Number 1, we actually need to understand what are the regulations that set the laws. What is the process? Because for much of this, I'm seeing clickbaity stuff talking about the vehicle being illegal in the UK. Well, the newsflash is that the UK doesn't actually set the rules. There is a thing called the UNECE, and they have the World Forum for the Harmonization of Vehicle Regulations. This body sets the global standards for vehicles, with a few exceptions, notably the US, and Canada follows the US, and China. And these rules that are being referred to that say the Cybertruck is illegal and it will always be illegal, well, these rules are not written in stone. So as things stand at the moment, the Model Y that I am sat in cannot do full self-driving because the UNECE rules say that it cannot do full self-driving. But that is already under review and is being relaxed, and there is light at the end of the horizon that what is currently illegal will then be made legal. And it's already the case that vehicles built in one market have to be adapted to be made legal in another market. We build a lot of cars in Europe, an awful lot of cars, and many of those are sold in the North American market. So if you look at a European vehicle that's on sale in North America, you will see differences in that vehicle versus the same thing driving around in Germany. In North America, for some bizarre reason, your turn signals are the same colour as your brake signals, red. Everywhere else, they're amber. So it's the bulb that's different, or the reflector that's different, or increasingly the LED that are different. If you want to sell BMW in North America, all of the lighting needs to be changed to make it compliant in North America. I had no idea that the full matrix LED headlights of my Model Y are still illegal in North America. Your cars are fitted with them, but they're not allowed to switch them on for some reason. The car has to be adapted for the regulations, and there is no reason at all why the Cybertruck cannot be adapted for these global harmonization regulations. How can I put it? I did see something that said because it's got a light bar across the front, it is not legal and never can be legal. Well, guys, it's LEDs. You can program LEDs to do all kinds of things. We've seen this at the moment with the Cybertruck that's in the UK, owned by a YouTuber called Yanni, and he is having to get all of the lighting changed to make it compliant with the World Forum regulations. And that's quite a fiddly job because he's not Tesla, and he's having to get some guys in a workshop to go and completely change the setup. But it can be done, and they are doing it. The second one is the size and the weight of the Cybertruck. And you know what? It's a big vehicle. I had a wander around one for about half an hour when there was one on display in Glasgow, and when I first walked in through the doors I thought, that's a big beast. It really is. It's an imposing vehicle. But we already have bigger vehicles than that on our roads. You can go out and buy a Ford Transit van that's bigger than a Cybertruck. I've driven a minibus that was bigger than the Cybertruck, and I will confess it was too big for some of the roads that I was going on. It really was. And that's to say nothing about buses and trucks, which are already much bigger, and yet they're on our roads without causing any problems. The second part of this argument is about the weight of the Cybertruck, and I do confess this is where there was, and the emphasis is was, past tense, a problem. In the UK, there is a limit of 3.5 tons gross vehicle weight on basically something that your average person can just go out there and drive. And there is a problem because the Cybertruck's gross vehicle weight is 4.1 tons. It's too heavy for your driving license. But there's already 2 exceptions to this. The first one is the old people's driving license. So if you've got hair that's this colour, like I have, you've probably got a driving license that predates the change. So I've already got what in the UK is called a C1 category on my driving license, which means that I can go out and I can drive bigger vehicles legally without any issues. Where that changes in relation to the Cybertruck is that there is already a change in the law which states that light commercial vehicles can be up to 4.25 tons if they're an EV. Because quite a few of the van manufacturers started putting big battery packs under their van. That made them heavier. That made that the gross vehicle weight, once you load it with stuff, was going to be over 3.5 tons. Once again, what was the law is not necessarily going to stay as the law. It changes and it evolves. So we are already at the point where a vehicle that's 4.25 tons can be driven legally on a normal driving license in the UK, providing that you classify what very clearly is a commercial vehicle. It's a pickup truck. If you classify it as a commercial vehicle, then it is fine. So the people who are saying, oh, it's too heavy for the roads, it's illegal, it's just not true. You're talking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. It's not too big and it's not too heavy. But apart from that, you were spot on when you said it's illegal because it's too big and it's too heavy. The third bit, and this again is another great example of where the regulations change. The Cybertruck is steered by wire. There is no mechanical connection between the steering wheel and the steering racks. None. It's all done by computers. At the moment, that is mind-blowing technology as far as the regulations are concerned, and you have to have the mechanical linkages. You can't just have computers at the moment. But here's the thing. This is not a Tesla Cybertruck issue. This is a pace of technology issue. Lexus have created the One Motion grip system on their new RZ450e car. It's drive by wire. There is no connection between the steering wheel and the wheels. And they won't be the only one, because once the genie comes out of the bottle, it can't be shoved back in again. Just as your airliner that you travel on got rid of all of the mechanical connections from the pilots at the front to the controls towards the back, it's the same with cars. This is coming, and because it's coming, it means that the rules are going to change. And it is coming, because EVs mean you can package cars in a completely different way to a mechanical car. So taking the physical connections away means you can improve the packaging even more. It's cheaper because you're not having to have all of the parts. It's easier because of where you can package it, and it's smarter. Look at the variable steering that the Cybertruck already has. That is good technology. And it's not just Tesla. Lexus are coming out of the box with it, and they're Toyota are massive. Everybody will be doing this fairly soon. So again, whatever the rules say today will not be saying it tomorrow. There is more of a challenge though in point number 4, and that is metal. And no, I don't mean the excellent Gary Newman song, grey hair guys. I do mean the material that the Cybertruck is built from. We know it's made from stainless steel. It looks absurd. It really does look absurd, and yet there it is, right, in its glorious Tron-like future. It's made of stainless steel. And what I keep reading or hearing or being told by people who think they're experts is that stainless steel means no, 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 you can't have that. And they say that for two reasons. And the first one is the vehicle doesn't deform. And what do we mean by that? Well, you've got all of the fun videos of people hitting it with baseball bats or kicking it or shooting at it or whatever else. It's a very, very tough material. So it doesn't have the same give that normal steel or aluminium does. And that's a bad thing if you get collected by it. Here's the point though. Car design has improved over time, and things have been added in to make them safer and to make them more forgiving when you hit them. Cars sometimes now get fitted with a pedestrian airbag on the outside, so that if you get collected by it, there is an airbag to cushion you. Cars have also had to be fitted with different bumper arrangements depending on the markets that they go into. So it's entirely possible that one way round the current regulatory impasse is for Tesla to add a bigger bumper. And don't say they won't do that, because the Model Y Juniper has had bumper extensions both at the front and at the back to be able to make it so that it is more forgiving in a crash. Less metal and more plastic if you hit into something. That has been added and it's lengthened the vehicle. So absolutely there could be a solution for the Cybertruck in doing the same thing. The second part of it is that the metal is literally sheets of stainless steel. If you go and look at your current car and open a door or any other panel, you'll see it's got a rolled edge, and the regulations are it has to have a 3.2 millimeter roll, and the Cybertruck sheets are 1.4 millimeters. You can't actually get that roll on the edge of a Cybertruck, and the Yanni the YouTuber's solution was literally rubber bumper strips on all of the exposed edges. If you look at the videos with his Cybertruck, it's got these black strips that run on all of the edges. And that may or may not be a solution for him. It certainly wouldn't be a solution for Tesla, but again, there are solutions possible. The rules have changed, but the point is it can be done. And the rules that we've been talking about will adapt, and we've already touched on where a few of them are going to adapt. And this is the fifth point, which is Tesla already have a plan for the Cybertruck outside of North America. At the Summer 2024 Investors Conference, Elon Musk was asked a direct question about the Cybertruck from a shareholder, and he was basically asked, are we going to get this vehicle outside of North America? And the answer from Elon was yes. The quote is, I think we'll make a special version of that which is European compliant or Chinese compliant. A special version of the Cybertruck. They designed the vehicle to fit the North American regulations because that was the first market that they were going to sell the vehicle in, and the regulations there give them more leeway. Elon's quite open about the fact that he thinks that the car would be worse if it was designed for other regulations, and that's probably true. The reality is Tesla are a global car vehicle. This Model Y that I'm sat in was the best-selling car in the world in 2023, and it's going to be really high up the list again in 2024. They're not in the business of giving market share away on vehicles that they want to make. So they know it isn't compliant. They know they can make it compliant, and you would therefore assume that they already have a plan to make it compliant. And this is why Cybertruck absolutely can be made legal in the UK, in Europe, in Australasia, in all of these other markets. I think the remaining barrier for the Cybertruck outside of North America is rate of sale. If the vehicle is selling strongly in the North American market, then they will look at, can we sell enough units of this elsewhere? The question then is, in the comments, do you want a Cybertruck? Are you one of the people who've already put a deposit down on a Cybertruck and you've been waiting years? Are you expecting you're ever going to get one? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you hate the thing in general? Let me know in the comments. But I do want a debate on this one. I think the Cybertruck is fascinating, not just as a vehicle, but actually almost as a commentary on the car industry, because they have built this thing and it looks so wild that it's at least got everybody talking. So let's talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it coming? When's it coming? Do you want one? And I'll see you back here very soon on Just Get a Tesla.